everybody, welcome to another episode of Straight Talk No BS. It's your girl Chris
and Landria.
And today we're going to talk about what it means when someone calls you a strong woman. What it means to us.
For me, I absolutely detest. I mean that whenever people say to me, "You're such a strong woman," oh my God, I look at that as an insult. That's how I look at it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't feel empowered by it at all. Not at all. Not the least. I really don't. For me, it's not a term of endearment. It's not a term that I'm proud of. It makes me feel like when people say it to me, or have said it to me in the past, oh my God, you're such a strong woman. I can actually get offended behind it. I know most women,
What's the reason that you feel that way?
Because when they say to me, you're such a strong woman, for me, it feels like I didn't ask to be a strong woman. That's how I look at it. I didn't ask to be a strong woman. So it's like when I have people that listen to my journey of where I came from, choices I've made, what I've had to overcome, traumas I had to overcome, they would say, oh my God, you're such a strong woman. But for me, it's like me having to overcome my traumas, why they have been the two past abusive relationships. I didn't have a choice to have, I didn't have a choice. I had to overcome it. I had to, forgive. I had to find a way to cope and deal, and then as the years went on, forgive. It's not something like, oh my God, you're so strong, I'm so proud of you. What is to be proud of? Having to overcome inhumane treatment. What's proud to have to overcome being abused? What's proud to have to overcome being a single parent? It's hard work. Both of those situations for me, when people say, oh my God, you're so strong, you raise your kids by yourself, or you're a single parent, oh my God, I heard what you went through, you're so strong. I look at that, whereas me having to do what's required as a human being, or even as a mother, or even having to keep myself together mentally, physically, emotionally, everything, it came by the hands of someone else. Me overcoming being involved and having been abused twice for a number of years, that's not something I'm proud of. That's not something I'm proud to say that I'm a strong woman because I had to endure being beaten. What's so strong about that?
You're absolutely correct. I feel like I have mixed feelings about the term strong women, and I'm not really decided on like what side of the fence I want to be on. So I think I'm like straddling the fence a little bit, to be quite honest. And for me, I agree with what you said. Like, that doesn't make you a strong woman because you overcame those things. I mean, technically it does, but you shouldn't have to be because of those things.
Correct.
So for me, I feel like being a strong woman, especially being a strong Black woman, it kind of like is embedded in our DNA because of all the things that our ancestors had to go through from slavery and after. So I feel like just that being alone, just going through slavery and being beaten for the littlest things and having to get back up and still go to work and still take care of your families no matter what. And then after that, having the government, take our men out of our homes and sending them to war, and the woman having to play both male and female roles in the home, right?
Exactly.
Those are the things that made us strong. So I feel like that is embedded in our DNA to the point where now us women are still doing those same exact things unbeknownst to us. So we don't see them as strong. We currently now see them as just regular things that women do.
That were exactly. Whereas we have been put in situations that either you stay in an abusive relationship and you run the risk of losing your life, or you escape and you leave and you raise your children and take your children with you. It's no other options. It doesn't make you strong. We shouldn't have to be single parents. We shouldn't have to escape our abusers. Why is it whereas the women have to deal with these situations and then people say, oh my God, you're just so strong. Why couldn't the man just stop abusing the women? Why don't the fathers just step up and ease the load of single parents having to raise their children and stepping up? You see what I'm saying? You're saying how we're strong women because we have jobs we have to do. We have to be responsible. We are left having to repair from the damage that's made from violent situations, from situations we find ourselves in. And we don't know, no woman walks into a relationship and says, I want to be abused. She doesn't. No woman has a child and says, I want to be a single parent. No woman goes in saying, oh, you know what? When I go 21, I want to be a single parent. Oh, you know what? When I get my first boyfriend, I want him to
do. Some of
live
them,
a
I think Kenya did that on Real Housewives of Atlanta. Kenya wanted to have a baby without a man. She wanted to be a single mother.
Right. But she also, I'm sure she would not have made that decision if she wasn't at the level she is now financially or at the age she is in her life.
Right. But that's still besides the point, right? But no matter where you are financially, being a single parent is still a job. It's still a hard responsibility, no matter what, right? Because all the finances lies in your lap.
Correct, but it's not a term of endearment. It's not a term of to say you want to be proud of it. For someone to say, "Oh my God, you're such a strong woman," I'm not looking. We're not looking for pity. We're not looking for sympathy. For me, every time I would hear it, "Oh my God, you're just so strong." Am I? Oh my God, you raise your kids by yourself. Oh my God, you got to be so strong to do that. Am I? Am I really?
Yes, you are.
No, but
and I say that because
we don't feel like that.
Yeah, I know that, but that's because you're not so easily you're apt to seeing the people that are not like you, that are throwing their kids away, that are not taking care of their kids, that are putting their kids in foster homes or dumping their kids on the side of the streets or dropping them off at doorsteps or letting their kids roam around the neighborhood and not having any self-control or any responsibility. There are women out there who are not strong enough to do those things. So that's why I say, like, I'm on the fence with the term, strong women, because I don't need to be a strong woman 24/7. I am a strong woman at certain points. I'm a strong woman when it comes to being a parent. I'm a strong woman when it comes to being a boss. When I'm at work, I'm in the business meetings. Yeah, I put my shoulders back and I'm a strong woman at that moment. But when you're beating me down, I don't want you to think I'm a strong woman. I can take that beat.
That's my point. My point. Don't look at me whereas I took those beatings for years, so that makes me strong. No.
Don't look at you and say that though, Len. Look at you and say that you're a strong woman because you are a single mother who raised two great kids. So that takes a strong woman. It does.
Yeah.
A weak woman wouldn't be able to do what you did with those two kids. Len?
I guess I don't look at myself like that. And for me, I never look at praise and accolades, and I just do it.
Absolutely. And that's why a lot of people love you so much. That's why a lot of people are drawn to you so much. You'll be wondering why you was on the phone for 2 hours with this person or that person for 8 hours. That's because they're drawn to you. You don't look for pity. You don't look for those accolades. You just you.
Yeah.
Right. But there are people out there who are not like that.
Mm-hmm. And that could be why I struggle with it, because I'm like, what do you mean?
Yeah.
Like, what do you mean? I look at it whereas, what do you mean I'm a strong woman? Mm-hmm. I look at it whereas, why? Because I had to be shitted on. I had to take raising two kids by myself. Like, what exactly is strong with that?
No, I agree with you. Listen, I was a single mother too, and I hated that. I hated when they told me I was strong for taking care of my son the way I did. But you know what? I appreciate it. I don't want to be labeled
You're right.
strong for being beaten down or taking shit from anybody. I want to be strong for that,
Because
right?
what happens, right? Because what happens is that people can take that of you being a strong woman and then turn it around and say, oh, well, that's why she's either single, or that's why she's opinionated, or that's, it can also go negative. Or people will look at you,
Yeah.
whereas because of your history or because of your journey, like, oh, well, she's probably dealing with trauma. She's probably got issues. She's probably got unresolved this. And no. So it's like, so it also brings, for me, I look at it, whereas it's like, yeah, okay, I'm a single mother, or, I didn't even like the term single mother. I always say one parent household. Because when you say single mother, people automatically feel sorry for you, like, oh my God, you're a single parent. I'm so sorry. Sorry about what?
But one parent household sound like somebody died.
Then I would rather that than single parent, because when you go with that single parent, I've had to experience going to my children's school and they're like, oh, I'm so sorry. I know that it's just you in the household, so you probably don't have the support you need with your children. Who told you that?
Yeah, who told you
You know what
that?
I'm saying? Who told you that? And that's, and I want to say that has bothered me, is why when people say, oh, you're so strong, if I walk into any building and I have to represent my children, I'm walking in there as a woman and as a mother, not a victim, not a single parent. I'm walking in there as a mother, as a woman, not to hear someone say, is everything okay at home? Okay. Well, I know these may be hard because, you don't, it's just you. And I know you're raising these kids. Shut up. You see, and that's what I've had to hear a lot, where people automatically assume, oh, it's like a pity. I didn't ask to be a single parent. You see what I'm saying? Choices I made, I had to make a decision.
Yeah.
People hear my journey of what I've been through, whether it be the first abuse, whether it be the second abuse, my marriage, whatever it is. Victims don't need to continue to hear, oh, I'm so sorry. How come nobody, like, okay, I'm so sorry. Okay, yes, and then don't get me wrong. I appreciate, I'm so sorry. I do absolutely appreciate it. I do. But why can't it be, you know what? I'm proud of what you overcame. And that bastard that did that to you, someone needs to talk to him. And keep holding on to the strength you have. Your children will be blessed. God will cover you. You see what I'm saying? See how that comes across a lot more stronger, or a lot more, in depth, deep, where a person kind of feel uplifted behind that,
Yeah.
versus,
No,
I'm so sorry.
I
It's a
I hear
difference.
you. I just don't think everybody has the common sense to say those things. Like
I
even for
know.
me, I don't really say I want to have the common sense, but I really like get anxiety when it comes down to being super empathetic like that to other people. Like I never ever figure out the right words to say, right? Because even for me, like for funerals or if anyone's feeling down or sad, like I never know what to say. I don't never know if I should hug you, if I should not hug you, give you your space. Are you okay? I'm so sorry. So those are the common words that I know that do show empathy that I just naturally say. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. Do you need anything? Are you okay? What can I do? Like that's just how I am showing my empathy to other people, you know?
You know
So
how when people pass, the loved ones always say, stop asking me how am I doing. If one more person asks me how am I doing, I'm going to scream.
who says that?
People say that when loved ones pass, and people always say, are you okay? Are you okay? Do you need anything? I've heard people that would say to me, Lenny, if one more person asks me if I'm okay, I'm going to scream, shut up. What do you think? Am I okay? Am I okay? Which I understand people sometimes don't know really what to say. So the first thing they go to, you have my condolences. I'm so sorry, and whatnot. They do that. We got to expand on that. Because not all the
Yeah.
time people want to hear that. Not all the time they want to hear all that.
No, yeah, you're right. And I find myself Googling. I do. I find myself Googling what to say. So yeah, you're absolutely right.
Yeah, it is because I know of, I know of victims. And I guess it could come from I guess it could come from a place from me having already been a victim myself. That I know of victims that when I talk to them, and even when I have consults with them, and even when I have volunteered and spoken to women that has been in situations, you know, first question I ask is, are you okay? That's the first thing. Are you okay? And are you and the kids okay? That's the first thing of a state of mind. Of a state of mind is what you ask. And I found myself where I would say, listen, at some point, you're gonna have to make a choice. But in the meantime, you got to keep on reminding yourself you're worthy. You got to keep reminding yourself that, listen, you can do better. You deserve better. You deserve a lot more. You see the difference of I'm so sorry, how that sounded versus I'm so sorry? How
Yeah,
it, you see
I
how
do. I do.
see the
Mhm.
difference between that? Right. So I find that people that haven't been in situations or have no idea of what it's like to either be a single parent, having survived an abusive relationship, have no idea of what to say. So I know the common words they would say is, I'm so sorry, because they can't relate to it. They can't relate to it.
I disagree. I've been in those situations and I still can't find the words to say to other people. I've been a single parent. I've been in abusive relationships. I've been through trauma. I've been through a death really close to me. I've been through those things.
Mhm.
I just it's still I still have a blockage of what to say to other people as far as being empathetic to them. Like I'm empathy. I feel your pain. I feel it. But the natural words that come out of my mouth are, I'm sorry. What can I do? Are you okay? I know that that may not be the best things to say at that moment, but you can't fault people for trying,
No,
right?
and I don't fault anyone that has ever said to me or sent me messages or called me and said, I'm Lan, I'm so sorry. Lan, I didn't know. Lan, so, and again, I just want to make sure I'm clear on it. I I appreciate it. Like I do appreciate, messages I've gotten, even the first episode when we aired of I survived domestic abuse. I'm a domestic abuse survivor. I knew I put the most intimate details of my life out there. I made that conscious decision to do that. I thought it was only fair if we have this platform to tell my truth, and I did it. And with that, I got an overwhelming response of people saying, I'm so sorry, I didn't know. I'm so sorry, I didn't know. And I know it's coming from a place of love, concern. I totally get it. But the way how my brain operates is I don't need a I'm sorry. I automatically go to what's the solution to prevent something like this happening to somebody else? That's what I care about.
Well, that's nice of you.
But that's what I care about. I don't care about the stories. I don't care about, oh my God, I didn't know. Oh my God, this. Okay, no, you didn't know. And no, I'm not one to broadcast personal information about myself. I'm always been extremely private. I would always be private. I never display anyone I may be dating, anyone I'm involved with. I just don't do that. Some things for me is private. That's one thing that's private. Case in turn, why the abuse was also private. But for me, I want to know what's the solution to prevent other women from being in situations that I was in. That's what I care about. What can I do on my end to assist or help other women and men not to be in those situations because it's not a good feeling. That's what for me, is very important and that makes me feel good. What's the solution? What's the solution? What can I do? Where can I help? Tell me what I need to do so I can help the next person because it's going to be more victims. Abuse, one parent households is going to continue. But what's the solution for that? Do we educate men or parents or individuals on how to be parents? Do we have, anger management classes for males and females? The abusers that are out there that are still walking around and probably moved on with their lives, that probably haven't given their abuse of what their actions a second thought, they just continue with their lives and move on to the next woman. They may disguise it a little better. What's the solution?
Yeah, maybe.
What's the solution? Because they're not held accountable for any of their actions. They've moved on with their lives, and the path that they moved on has probably left a path of destruction with various females or males, whatever. But for me, I want to know what's the solution. How can this be prevented? What can I do to help prevent things from this from happening? That's what's important for me. Not I'm so sorry. Yes, I survived it. Yes, it's part of my history. It's part of my journey. It will be in my memoir. It will be in my book. My generations after me will know about my journey and what I've endured. But included in that, what's the solution for it? That's what's important for me.
Okay.
And that's why I wish somebody would give me an answer for.
I don't think there's an answer, Len.
I know, and that's the problem.
That's a heavy feat to bear. I mean, that's a big one.
But that's the problem. So even though I've been through what I went through, and yes, people can say you were strong to have to endure all of that, and I agree. I believe I actually believe that God had a guardian angel looking over me and had me covered, and that's why I'm here today.
So you were strong enough to survive that?
Well, because I feel like I have a purpose. I truly feel that I have a purpose. What it is, I'm still figuring out. I think I do understand what my purpose is now. I do.
But do you still feel like you're not a strong woman?
I would say let me see. Do I feel like I'm a strong woman? I would say yes, but I believe my strength is not for me, it's for others, to help others. That's what I believe.
Nice. I like that answer.
That's what I believe. I believe that I had to go through what I went through to make me the woman I am now, to be there for others. Yeah, that's what I believe.
I agree. And I'm sort of glad like you changed your tune here a little bit. You started off by saying how you don't really believe in the term, or you don't like the term strong woman, but you just said that you agree with it now.
No, I still hate it when people say it to me. That's not going to change. But I look at it now, whereas I'm glad I had to go through what I went through, because I don't know what type of woman I'll be today if I didn't. And I believe everything happens for a reason. As crazy as that may sound, I truly believe everything had to happen for a reason. And that it was aligned like that for a reason. It was a purpose behind it. So, and I do believe that it was a reason I survived both of them. I do believe it was the reason why I've actually come to that end of the road of being a parent. I mean, I'll always be a parent, but my children now are young adults. And I believe the second half of my life, and for me, 40 plus is your second half of your life. So I'm at a point now in my life where I look at it where I was supposed to go through everything I went through in my late teens, 20s, and 30s to get me to the place I am now. That when I do encounter people, and for a fact, everyone confides in me and talks to me, everybody. I don't even go looking for it. It just happens.
Mhm.
I believe that is my purpose. And I believe I was supposed to go through every bit of bullshit I fucking went through. So when I do have conversations with other people going through whatever situations they're going through, and even if they're not going through a situation, but just may need a little pick me up, a little motivation, I believe it was designed for me to go through all of that crap to make me the woman I am now, to be strong enough to be able to give to other people and to serve other people. I believe that's my purpose. So if someone says to me, you're strong for being able to be there for other people, whether it be strangers, loved ones, family members, or friends, that I can accept. That I have no problems for. Because I feel like I'm capable of taking on the world and being there for whoever as much as I can. So when you look at it like that, like Leanne, you're a very strong individual to be able to be there for other people and to service them and to support them and to be a genuine friend, and you know your loyalty and they trust you and everything. That I can accept. Yes, I can accept
No,
that.
well, I had this debate the other day with somebody I know, but I feel like for me, I'm okay with being labeled a strong woman. I told you before, I'm on the fence a little bit of it, but like I don't want to be labeled strong when I'm supposed to be weak. You know, like if I'm crying, if I'm down, if I'm depressed, if I'm sad, if I'm in pain, I don't want to hear, come on, you're strong, you got it, you can do it. No, I want to make sure that you understand that I'm also a woman and I can be soft and vulnerable and tired and in pain and be taken care of.
You know what?
Right.
You hit the
But
nail on it right there. You hit the nail on it right there. That's the missing ingredient as to why I absolutely hate saying people saying strong woman, because it makes me feel like the woman in me doesn't exist. It's more masculine than feminine. That's it right there. That's what triggers me.
but I also feel like on the other side of it, like, yes, I am a strong woman because I can go through certain things. And I do feel like women are in a sense the most stronger
We
um
are. We
we
are.
yeah, being because we are the ones that go through the most pain as far as like childbirth, right?
Mhm,
As
mhm.
far as like being the single parent, like we carry that burden, not just in our womb but after the womb as well. Like we have to be able to hold our household down. Yes, the men provide and protect and do the big old work and bring home the bacon, but
But
who
do
is
they?
taking care of that household? Who is
Yeah.
making sure that you have furniture, the lights on, food in the fridge, the kids are taken care of? You know, who is taking care of those things? The woman. So that's a lot to bear for a
Yeah.
woman. That's why I feel like, yeah, me saying as a strong woman, I may not like the term, but it's generational. It's not
Mhm.
for me at this moment to not like, you know, that's how I feel, because it's generations and generations of strong women that to the point where I I look up to those women. You know, if I'm being labeled a strong woman and I see them as strong women, to me, that's kind of like, wow, well, all right. It's like a little upgrade for me, you know, but only when I'm being strong, not when I'm being weak.
Right. But don't we, but as women, yes, we are strong women. Circumstances put us in positions where we have to be strong. We have to be able to take the weight on our shoulders because of situations or decisions we've made along the way or circumstances. And we have to be in these positions. But we don't all want to be there. We want to be a woman. We want to know what it feels like to be soft. We don't always want to be hard. We shouldn't have to be hard and have to be labeled as we can take it. And we shouldn't have to take it.
Oh, I agree with you.
That's the problem I have. We shouldn't have to just be strong women because we take shit. We just have to absorb all this bullshit that comes our way. And we got to take the mistreatment. And we got to take the inhumane treatment, the insults. No, we shouldn't have to be labeled strong women because we have to endure all this bull crap.
Yeah, but you know what? Some of us, they ruin it for the rest of us, right?
Yes, I
So
agree.
so there are some really weak ones out there that are ruining it for us. So that would, there are some ones that are overly strong ones out there that are ruining it for us. So we're like, you don't want to be called a strong woman, but somebody else might, right?
Yeah.
Somebody else. So like, it's confusing the mass. It's confusing everybody.
It's confusing the masses. It makes it more difficult for women that are labeled strong women to move on with their lives, to be in healthy relationships sometimes, because the first thing the person you're dating thinks is, oh, she's a little too independent. She's a little too strong. She's a little too, it's not that. And that's, I want to say as well, that could be another reason why I'm not too keen on that term. It's like, even for me in dating, yes, I'm a one-parent household. Yes, I've raised 2 kids. Yes, I've been married. Yes, I've been abused twice in 2 relationships, but at the same time, I'm also an entrepreneur. I'm an independent woman. I pay my bills. I have great credit, you know what I'm saying? Like, where is all of that positivity in that? We don't get that. We get that, you're just, you got to be bitter. Or if we have a zero tolerance for certain behaviors, certain bad behaviors from dating or from men or whatnot, which all of a sudden we're labeled as being difficult, or we're labeled as being too independent, or you know what, you're too much work. No, it's not that. It doesn't mean that. We're not trying to be hard. We're not trying to be difficult. We're not trying, you know what I'm saying? We are soft women. Circumstances just put us in positions where we have to be tough to be able to survive.
Oh yeah, I agree. I also equate this to something like we said, when you're dating
Yes.
somebody. So for instance, like men nowadays with social media, they kind of group all the women together in one category based off what they see on social media, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they might treat you the same way they may treat somebody on Instagram who's showcasing their boobs and their ass and their skin's all out. They may come and expect the same thing from you as what they see on Instagram, right? They're going to treat you the same. They're going to act the same.
For me, it's like,
how would you change their views and separate them from you?
Well, one, I never post anything and never will post anything of an intimate level of me dating anybody. That I'll never do.
Yeah, I mean, as far as like you're just, showcasing your assets on the gram. They may expect you to do the same thing. They may slide in your DMs and be like, yo, send me a pic.
Well, I get that all the time. Guys slide in my DMs, married men that are engaged. They're in my DMs all the time. And I think they're in my DMs because they assume when I use the word I'm single or I'm dating, that is an open invitation to say, let me just go ahead and shoot my shot.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And then I have a whole bunch of these assholes, because that's what they are. They're assholes that I'm either got to call them out on the fact that they're married, be loyal to your wife, be loyal to your girlfriend, your baby mama, whatnot. I have those conversations weekly, where they'll slide on my DMs they'll slide on my DMs and they'll be like, oh, I listened to your podcast. It was a really great episode, blah, blah, blah. Oh, your children did blah, blah, blah. Oh, I see you have a dog or whatever. And then they'll say, oh, when is the next time you're visiting? Oh, are you available? Do you want to go for drinks? Ask your wife. Get out of here.
Must be nice, girl. I get nobody sliding in my DMs.
Right, but it's more of a curiosity. I had one guy messaged me about working out, what I train him and whatnot. And then I was like, okay, well, let me send you get someone from my team to send you an email. You remember him. I'll call it his name. Let me send you a little email or whatnot, so you can let me know the schedule, whatever. I ain't heard from him since. So that was just a pickup line of another way or another angle he was trying to get close to me. Get out of here with that.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of males assume that single women are desperate. A lot of them assume that we'll just take scraps. No. And because we're single, and because we're single parents on top of that, or one parent households, does not mean we're desperate to take crap, like scraps and crap. Or just come on, get out of here. So even for that, for me, it's frustrating. But again, people would then turn around and say, oh, well, that's why you're single because of this or that. No, it just means you're a little boy pretending to be a man, and you don't want to present yourself to me of a Netflix and chill. I don't do Netflix and chill. It does not make me angry, does not make me bitter, does not make me, be in trauma, or I'm a bitter ex-wife, or no, it does not mean that. It just means that what you're trying to offer me, a Netflix and chill, I have no interest in it. That's what it means. I know my worth. It means if you can't communicate to me without just emojis and all these, what is it, acronyms and whatnot, have no interest in that. Why would I do that? And if you're married or in a relationship, or you got a lot of things going on in your life that you have to resolve, don't bring it my way, because I have no baggage. I have no baggage. And if I did decide to date you, and if I am seeing you, then I do not post personal stuff like that. Anything of intimacy or who I'm with or even dating, I will never, never ever post you on any social platforms I have unless we are about to get married. And you have engaged, you have proposed to me, here is a ring, and you'll see a post to say, I say yes, right? And then the follow-up post after that would be us as a married couple. That's it. Anything other than that, I'm not doing that. I'm not. Some women do it. Some women enjoy broadcasting who they're dating and whatnot. Me personally, I'm still in limbo because I don't know if I even want to be with you. So why would I put up a post of me and you, and then I might decide 2 months later you're not the one? Then I put up another post of another man, and I realize you're not the one. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing it.
Yeah. No, absolutely not.
But to each his own. To each his own. But no.
Exactly. Teach his
And,
own.
and this is why I don't know. And I can't even, you know what? I wouldn't even, I guess I want to say is my experiences. Is my experience I get from that. Whereas each time I hear it, oh my God, you're so strong. It's coming for me, it sounds like it's coming from a place of like they have sympathy for me, or empathy, like, oh, I'm so sorry you had to go through all of that. So, I get it. I get it. Is in human nature for people to genuinely feel sorry for what I had to endure. Emails and messages and stuff that I got from people apologizing with our first episode of, I'm so sorry, Landria, I didn't know, I don't want any of them to feel like they did something wrong. They did not. They absolutely did not do anything wrong. And they did the right thing reaching out to me, because some of them I hadn't spoken to in years. So I do appreciate the fact they did take the time out to reach out to me and send me the messages. I did receive all of them. I did respond. I said thank you. So they did nothing wrong. They did nothing wrong. So I just want to make sure I'm clear on that. It's just for me, I look at solutions. I want to know, what can I do to help with a solution? That's what drives me. I want to know what's the solution. I want to receive an email from a domestic hotline or domestic, nonprofit organization and say, hey, we'd like you to jump on board, and we would love for you to, speak to our women. That's what interests me. That is what I want to be part of the solution. For me, I need to be part of the solution. It's like a need for me. I'm going to start, watch, I'm going to launch my nonprofit just catered to domestic abuse, male or females. I'm going to do that. You watch.
Absolutely. Do it.
Do that because I'm very passionate about it. I really feel there has to be solutions. It has to be solutions.
Yeah.
We've got to have a solution for it, man. It can't continue.
Yeah,
I can't. It's women losing lives, and even women being, even not even just women, even males and females being single parents. We didn't ask to be in a situation. There are men out there as well that are single parents. Do we say to him, yo, I'm so sorry, or men that have been abused, do we say, oh, I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry? You never heard that. The single fathers.
It's not that many of them. So I don't want to say.
I know a few fathers that are outright single parents that are raising their kids by themselves.
I meant as far as like men being abused in relationships. It's not that many of them.
They don't say anything, and even that's unfair. Like, they don't say anything because they're supposed to be, quote, a man, so they subject themselves to this bad behavior from these women, and they get mistreated, they get abused, they get bullied, a whole bunch of stuff happens. And I
Yes.
know it takes a lot for a man to admit his being abused. It takes a lot for a man because they don't set out to say, okay, I want to meet a girl that's gonna abuse the shit out of me. They don't, you know what I'm saying? They don't set out to look for that.
Yeah.
The same way women don't, but do we say to men, oh, he's such a strong man, like man, he's so strong, damn, he went through all that abuse and damn, he's strong. It even sounds weird saying it. See what I'm saying? It even sounds funny even saying that. In other words, they would say he's a punk. Like, damn, he let that woman beat him like that. He's a punk. So I can understand why they don't say anything about it. But even that, we're gonna change it. I really want to be part of the solution. I really want to get conversations going where we have couples that talk and really communicate as to what their triggers are, what their likes are and dislikes. We have to start that. We have to start it because even starting communications, whether it be with couples, married couples, relationships, whether it be communication with baby mamas and baby daddies, even communications or even just sharing a presence for those one parent household, single parents that may need a little extra, uplift. Like, they need to know, am I doing it right? They're not the only ones, and they shouldn't feel like that.
No, I
They
agree. I
shouldn't feel
agree.
like that. And they shouldn't feel like, and they shouldn't feel embarrassed behind that either.
No, you should definitely do it. You should definitely do it.
Yeah,
But
you have to.
I feel like you could join the other people that are doing it now, as far as like, there are programs out there that do cater to women or male in domestic violence relationships, and they counseling programs, they do help them, but it is a big one to tackle. It's a big feat to tackle. So, I feel like you can do it. I feel like you are here to help people because you do that already anyway, naturally. You help everybody, whole neighborhood you be helping. so
And
so,
sometimes I'll be like, girl, I didn't even know this woman even knew me or this man even knew me.
exactly. So I feel like it's something you could do and you could accomplish and you could succeed at it. So yeah, get started, girl.
I am. You watch. Next year, I'm put into the universe right now. Next year, I'll be launching my nonprofit organization. I don't know what I'm going to name it as of yet, but I want it to be for males and females, and I want
Oh,
to have
look,
workshops.
I got a name for you. You ready for this one?
I'm ready.
Stay strong.
I'm got that. Yes, yes. Because coincidentally, that was the name for Saquon's. Saquon, I think Saquon's website is that. Stay strong.
Well, girl, you better take it back.
Yeah,
His
because
was yours first. You gave birth to him.
yeah, yeah. Stay strong nonprofit. No, I'm serious. I need to like there's certain thoughts and ideas you feel so passionate about, you can feel it.
Yeah.
That's what I feel. I feel that one to the bones.
No, do it. Do it.
Yeah, I feel it. I feel I've always, because I just I want to say, haven't been through it, haven't survived it. And people don't even know like the tip of the iceberg of some of the shit I had to deal with. And
Mhm.
that's what it is. So when I talk to people and they tell me what they're going through, I never minimize how they feel. Never minimize it.
Mhm.
Whether male or female, I never minimize it. And I listen to them and I tell them about me. And you should see their facial expressions like, what? I'm like, yeah, yep. I'm like, listen, I know you're going through this. And don't be embarrassed. Don't be ashamed. Don't feel a certain way about it. You most definitely trust me. And I want to tell you about me. And it's not a matter of telling them about me to take their amendment from them. Absolutely not. It's to let them know that they can't overcome the shit they're going through. Because I did it twice. Twice. So it's like I really do feel that's one of my purposes. And that's not the reason why I enjoy the podcast, because it's like it gives me an opportunity to reach people that feel like they don't have voices. And that's why I want it to be just organic people that are going through some real life shit that sometimes I know along the way you don't feel like anyone's listening. You don't feel like people are listening. You don't feel like you're being heard. You're being heard. You're being heard. Listen, I have experienced some of the worst things you can experience. I'm had my son. I remember this as a quick little sidebar story. When my son was about 6 years old, I want to say 5 or 6, he was in elementary school, and I was working late. I was working late. I was doing some overtime, and the school he went to at the time, my grandmother lives across the street, and my little cousins. And my little cousins, all they had to do was walk across the street, pick up my son, and keep him until I got there to pick him up, which I would have been there in about an hour or two. One day they called me and I'm like, hey, what's going on? They're like, hey, Landria, the little voices, hey, Landria, are we picking Saquon up today? I said, yeah, you girls know that. Yeah, you girls pick him up. Oh, because we went there and he's not there. I said, what do you mean he's not there? He's there. And they're like, okay, but we went there, we didn't see him. We'll go back. I said, yeah, go back and let me know when you have him. So I hung up. Next, I get another call. This time it's my grandma. I'm like, hey, Mom, what's going on? Hey, Lan, are you sure Saquon went to school today? I'm like, yeah, Mom, he went to school. Of course he went to school. I know he went to school. But the girls came back and said, he's not there. I said, what are you talking about? My ex-husband had one of his girlfriends at the time, or young lady he was seeing, walk into school, pretend to be me, and sign my son out, and walked out with my child. Yep.
What?
Yep. Walked off my child.
So what did you do?
Went ballistic. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe the school would do that. I couldn't believe the school didn't check ID. Where I worked, I was about an hour away with traffic, an hour and a half. And all I can hear was her voice saying to me, he's not there, Lan. They said some girl checked him out. Yep. Someone walked off my child.
Wow.
Yep. So for at least 3 to 4 hours, I had no idea where my child was. I had called the police. I had called my ex-mother-in-law. I had called the ex-husband. I went completely crazy, frantic. My heart was in my throat. I couldn't get to him fast enough. I couldn't get there. And when the police got involved, the police, I got to the police station. I went to my grandmother's house first, got the police involved. I reported it. I was hysterical.
Wow.
Hysterical. Yep. Could you imagine how a mother could feel like that? To not know where your child is?
Girl, yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And that's just one of and that was for me, one of the major incidents where when it comes to my children, why I'm not overprotective. I'm guarded when it comes to them.
Yeah.
That was the worst feeling in the world for a parent to feel that type of pain. And this was before they had to do Amber Alert. You see what I'm saying? This is before Amber Alert. My son's 21 now, so this is before the whole Amber Alert and whatnot. No, this was going to the police station, and you got to figure out who the hell's got your child. What woman are you talking about has my child? And then I would say about 4 hours later, he was dropped off at my family's front door. And they said, Landry is here. I'm like, how did he get there? They say, he's just here. He knocked on the door. He's here. Yeah.
Wow.
I knew at that time it was my ex-husband. And that was one of the things he did. He took my child. Now imagine women that's being single parents by themselves.
Yeah.
Not have any support, and this type of things happen. It's serious. Men do this, women do this. They take the children, they just take the child. It's one of the worst feelings in the world. And even for me,
man, that's crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy. And that's why even for that, when it comes to children, I'm very protective when it comes to children. If a child is in my care, I treat that child like they're mine.
Yeah.
Parent is nothing to worry about, you know. When it comes to marriage, it was a while where I would say after I got my divorce, I was like, I don't see myself getting remarried anytime soon. Because for me, even though I was married and marriage is supposed to be a blissful moment, and it was for a short period of time.
Mm-hmm.
But, another situation was I remember finding out that my ex-husband at the time was seeing another woman.
Mm.
And when I found out, how I found out was his best friend at the time had called me one early morning, asking me if he had arrived home safely. And I was like, he's with you, you know? He was like, no, we got separated. Something happens. Want to make sure he got home safely. I said, he's with you. He's not here. And it was somehow in the morning. So then my natural reaction was to call my ex mother-in-law, right? And I remember calling, telling her what transpired and whatnot. And she's like, no, Leon, if I hear anything, I'll let you know. Oh my God, I'm so concerned and all of this, right? So I said, okay, let me know. And when she went to hang up the phone, she didn't hang up the phone properly. And I heard her say, hey, and she called his name. Leon's looking for you. She said how things so cold you and whatnot. You better get out of here because
Mm-mm.
she might come over here and whatnot. And take your friend with you. You two has got to go to your room. And listen, if Leon comes over and catches you here with this girl, she's gonna go crazy, or she's gonna be upset. But yeah, and I'm here. I am listening.
Wow.
I am listening to my ex mother-in-law advising him to leave her house with the young lady he's with, where he was obviously there at her house doing what he had to do, in case I come over there. Because
Advising him on how to cheat. That's why you can't trust these mamas out here, guys.
man,
Don't
listen,
trust
you
them.
can't trust these. Listen, you can't
Don't
trust these
trust them.
mothers.
I'm telling you, even me.
You
Okay, when
can't
it comes
trust
down
them.
to me and my kid, don't trust me. Okay.
Listen, I'm telling you, and when it was going on, I was so enraged that I went over there in my pajamas and everything, and I knocked on the door, and I recall hearing the people kind of slide a little bit. You hear the steps, like the footsteps, and they didn't answer, and then they're like, "Who is it?" I said, "Hey, it's Lan." I said, I'm so concerned. I want to just come over and be with you while we figure out what's going on with him. Oh, okay, okay, okay. Well, we can do that from the house. I said, no, no, no. I said, well, no, that's okay. I got the baby with me and everything. And Saquon was very young. Saquon was just born. He's very young, very young. And she ended up opening the door, but she cracked it. She cracked the door. She cracked it. It was a crack. It was opening with a crack, like a little crack.
Uh-huh, uh-huh.
Girl, I remember putting my foot in the door, seeing him, the young lady, little situation happened. I ended up walking out. I left my son there, went to go cool off, took a walk, called to check to see if my son was okay. The grandmother, the mother-in-law was very sympathetic. I'm so sorry. Are you okay? Where are you? Are you okay? Where are you? And I said where I was. And I was on a payphone because it wasn't even no cell phones and all that back then. I was on a payphone. And I said where I was. And as fast as I said where I was, there was like 6 police cars came speeding up where they had told them that I tried to kill myself and that I need to go to the psychiatric ward.
Oh my gosh.
And yep, they took me to the psych ward.
So you see what I tell you when we say that you exude strong women? I'm just
Listen,
saying.
but listen, I was in that psych ward for 72 hours where they were trying to evaluate me. And no one knew where I was. My family didn't know what was going on. And I remember there was an orderly there. I never forget his face and his name. His name was David. And he says to me, I know you. I've seen you. And I'm like, he goes, yeah, you're the family of so and so. I say, like family of, my family. I say, yeah. You're the one from that little island, right? I said, yeah. He was like, listen, he's like, I don't know you, but whatever you do not take any medications. Do not, he's like, just don't say anything. They can only hold you maximum 72 hours and they have to release you with or without, like, even if nobody signs for you, they have to release you. So I asked him, I said, well, how can I get out of here? He goes, you can't get out of here until your husband signs you out because you're married. You believe that shit? Yeah.
I can't even believe it. But that girl, you
And
good. 'Cause I would have
left
whooped
me,
her ass.
he left me there for 72 hours in a nut house with every person actually, whatever you see on TV is real. It's real. Yep, he put me there against my will. And like clockwork, every so many hours, they will come and ask me what's my name. Am I depressed? Am I this? Am I that? All of that. All because I caught him cheating. Yeah, because I caught him cheating. And when the 72
Wow.
hours came, I kept asking, when am I being released? They're like, oh, well, you can't be released until you're signed out. And he came 72 hours later, and his exact words to me were, have you calmed down yet? Because if not, I'm not going to sign you out. And I said I was calm. He was like, he goes, you're sorry. He's like, yeah, do you apologize for coming to my mother's house like that? You apologize for disrespecting me like that? Yeah. Yeah.
Girl.
That's how he handled me. So when people say to me, like, because for years, nobody knew who my children's father was. I never broadcast nothing like that.
Hmm.
Was, for what? But yeah, that right there, that that I had to endure was at my lowest. Yeah. Feeling that was the first time I felt completely helpless. Helpless. Mm-hmm.
Well, I
Yeah,
know
help.
you hate the term, but you really do show that you are a strong woman. And I've heard these stories before, and I always tell you that it's amazing how you came out of those situations with the same mentality that you have now. You know, like you're not bitter, you're not upset, you're not angry, you don't carry that pain with you.
I
You just
listen. You
don't
know what
talk
the
about
hardest thing to do is forgive. One of the hardest things a human being can do is to forgive someone or to forgive an individual that has treated you in the worst way ever, in the most inhumane manner possible, is to forgive that individual.
it. Absolutely. It takes a strong
That
person to do that.
that is strong. That is strength to have to, because in the process of forgiving, you have to relive every single situation and you have to come to terms of every situation that you've endured to be able to process those emotions, to heal from those emotions, to forgive the person that mistreated you. That's the hardest thing that a woman or any individual has to do. And having to do that, I feel that's the reason why I look at that term, you're a strong woman, why I detest it so much. Is because having had to go through all of that, I shouldn't have to have gone through all of that when you know deep down, like I know I'm a good person. I know I never deserved any of what I've ever been through, none of it. And the only thing I did wrong was love the wrong person. And loving the wrong person gave me the title of having to be a strong woman. And I look at that for being what? Fucked over? That's as blatant as I can get, right?
Yeah. I
That's the
mean,
only thing I did was give my heart to the wrong people that practically almost killed me.
I don't
See?
I don't I don't ever like to see those things as
But I
that.
don't. But at a
them
point,
as,
that
lessons, like
right. But
you were
that's
able to
what I'm
look at
saying.
them and you learned from them and you grew from them.
Exactly. Right. But it was a process. So even though I can say that now, I can speak about it, I can talk about it. It has happened. I have processed it. It's part of my journey. But during that time of that forgiveness phase, of having to forgive these types of treatment, to forgive, or even having to forgive yourself for not allowing it, but having to be in a situation like that. Yes, I guess you can say it does require lots of strength and inner peace and forgiveness to do that. Yeah, it does. But overall, as human beings, man, we got to do better, man. We have to do better. Because even though for me, people hearing my journey, and they haven't even, I mean, they've heard half of it from when I left Bermuda, but they have no idea about what I endured here as part of my marriage. And I don't know if that's anything I'll ever truly reveal everything. I might give little snippets here and there. And that's because I'm over it, but my children have a relationship with their father. You know, they know, my kids know. But as for the world, I don't ever want my children to have to explain their
Mm-hmm.
parents. See the difference?
Yeah.
Me, myself, as an adult, I have no problem speaking my story. I was speaking at a seminar. Once I open my nonprofit organization, I'll probably even speak it then as well, you know, as part of my story. I said I gave two incidents now, but as far as complete disclosure, I would never want to put my children in a situation to having to explain your mom went through all that, your dad did all that to your mom. You know what I'm saying? That right there is where I would draw the line when it comes to my children.
Yeah.
Yeah, that right there is why I would not. And it's not a matter of protecting him. It's just that my children are young adults now and they have to build their own lives. And when they build their lives, have their own families and whatnot. Maybe later on, or in my memoir, you get it then. But girl, listen. But that's why I feel the way how I feel.
Well, I respect it. I
Yeah.
understand it. This was a very insightful episode. I really hope that the people out there listening, they take something from this episode. Comment below, share some of your stories. Don't forget to check out our other videos on our YouTube page and follow us on our social platforms. That's on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. We talk about a lot of stuff on there all the time. So we want to hear from our listeners. Like, share, comment, and subscribe. And we'll see you guys right here, same time, same place next week.